Right then, hello and welcome to one of the UK's newest theme parks. In fact, it pretty much is the UK's newest theme park. I did say it was Gulliver's Valley, but this actually opened 2 years later. Of course, this isn't a full day park. It's just it's a selection of rides in what is more of an arcade space. Yeah, Babylon Park in London specifically. They have got 4 parks. They actually, I think briefly they did have 5 parks because their second park was in Serbia. That recently closed, so now they have 4 parks again. One of the other ones is in Madrid, and they do own 2 parks in Israel, which is why this could be controversial, the fact that I'm coming here. I've got to address it. I'm personally not going to hold anything against it because the company happens to be from that country. Unless something seriously wrong happens, I'm not going to hold anything against this park because it's owned by a company from that country. That company itself doesn't seem to have done anything wrong, but I've got to address that because I know that it is going to be controversial, and I am strong about morals when visiting certain places and who I'm supporting. So yeah, it would be interesting if they opened another park in the UK, which was suggested when this first opened. This one is very expensive. I'm not sure about the other parks. It may just be because it's in London. If there was one in Birmingham, it at least wouldn't be as expensive as this. I don't know if it'd be that much cheaper, but you know. But the best thing is to get a wristband, which is 3 hours and does cost more than most full-day theme parks in the UK. That's how expensive it is. It costs just less than Flamingo Land. Yeah, it costs more than Alton Towers, and that's for a 3-hour session at a park with quite limited rides. Although I do think you get some game tokens for the arcade. You get some tickets to use the machines. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to be buying any merch. They have got photos. They've got a coaster here, which will be my 163rd coaster. So I should have 164 by the end of the year with Bluey. But it's a little SBF Visa. Interestingly enough, it was designed custom. It's a similar type to one of those Vortex coasters that they have, like the one on Britannia Pier in Great Yarmouth. But it is actually a custom, like bigger version of that, essentially, built around this building. Because these indoor coasters, you can always tell what bits are built around the structure of the building itself, and you know, because they're a little bit more compact. Like, obviously this isn't on the level of Rampage at the Big Sheep, which used to be in the Metro Centre, but this is the only like full-on indoor theme park in the UK, unless you count Grand Pier at Western. I suppose it's on the same level as that, really. Yeah, we haven't got like a full-day indoor park like a Nickelodeon Universe. Although after they've butchered Galaxyland, I don't want them to open one of those in the UK. But, you know, we haven't got like any full-on parks, but this is sort of... This and Western are the closest. Fantasy Island's half indoors, but it is also half outdoors. As much as the indoor area is phenomenal, it is also half outdoors. Adventure Island in Southend's got a little indoor section as well. So has Twin Lakes. Even Creely's got that little bit. So there's a few, but we need more of this in this weather, you know. For the weather we get in the UK, because when it's warm you want to stay indoors for the aircon, which this place has. When it's cold you want to stay indoors because you don't want to be outside in the cold. So yeah, hopefully we see more of this type of park. Not necessarily these, because obviously something's happened for them to have to close one of their parks, but we need more of this. But I'm looking forward to getting in anyway. You know, the other parks of these do seem to just have a generic SBF coaster, which I suppose this one could have got a little one and could have fit it in, but they actually designed it around the building to get a bit of a bigger ride, which is really fun and more unique. There is a little Tagada in here, which seems quite unique. I wonder if we'll ever see one of those at the little parks like Cannon Hill Park. I think the best one to benefit from it would be the one in Warwick. Because they haven't really had any new rides since that showman has like added some new rides to the other parks. And the other one's in Rother Valley, and he owns like a few. He's just an ex-showman who owns a few little parks just in the middle of public parks. And I wonder if they'll get one of those little Tagadas, because they've got a little Music Express at the Cannon Hill Park one, which is really fun. Yeah, like a little really compact little ride that you can put anywhere. Like it's a full-on spinning flat ride that takes up the same amount of space as a drop tower. Talking about that, they have got a drop tower, a little SBF one. I hope it's better than the one at Matlock Bath. It's that sort of smaller model. A bit smaller than the one at Matlock, but it's the same model as that. The spinning one where the actual tower spins. And then there's a little bouncing sort of kangaroos ride. There's a Ferris wheel which I might be able to go on, a car ride. I don't know if I'll be able to go on that, but it's just SBF Visa Central essentially. There's also a little Dodgers which I think is actually IE Park, but it's one of the electric ones which looks fun. It looks like you can get some drifting on there. Yeah, the little car rides, IE. So it's just full of IE Park and SBF rides, because they make these really modern looking, shiny, like bright light sort of filled rides that you can put in a park like this. You don't really see them in the big parks, because they do sort of, they don't really fit in. It's just more like a modern stylized look to it, and especially in something that's kind of futuristic themed like this, you can just fill it with those rides. But yeah, it makes it look like a high-tech sort of, almost more of an amusement park than a theme park. Even though this is themed, it's kind of got that vibe to it. You know, it kind of reminds me of like the IAPA Expo. You know, when you see sort of the way everything's set up, it's kind of like that, or like just SBF Visa's factories in general, when they're just full of all those, you know, when they've got the displays. That's kind of what it looks like. Everything's just built to be attractive, not necessarily like, you know, the sort of unique thrill rides that we get at the big parks, but they're just made to look high-tech for somewhere like this. You'll see what I mean when I go in, but I think I'm just going to start with a coaster and then go on some of the other little flat rides around. Yeah, so it was a lot more pricey when it first opened as well. I think it got more popular. They actually lowered the price. That's how bad it was when it first opened. How often do places actually lower prices to get more people to go? Because normally they'll just heighten the prices to make up for if less people have been able to afford it. Businesses will go, let's make it more expensive so that the little amount of people go, you know, we make more money from less people. Obviously that's not how it works, because it just lowers the visitorship even more, but businesses don't get that. But they actually had to lower the price for this place, and then I think in wristbands were only introduced like more recently. So yeah, but that's what I'll be getting anyway, because I think I only have to get like a couple of re-rides or go on a couple of the smaller rides, and I'll make that money back instead of just paying for the main rides I want to do. I think I'd rather just get on a couple of extra things and pay for the wristband, but it is going to be a lot. But if you want to just come into the coaster, it is definitely cheaper to get. The only thing is you still have to pay £25 for the tokens, and then you can just use the rest on something else, you know. But yeah, I'll have a look around anyway and see. I mean, I have already seen what's in here, but you know, it's basically just getting on rides and possibly using the arcade if you get the if you get those tokens included. So we're going to sync with the drop tower spinning. Helix. Smooth for an SBF Visa. 44 years old. It's a bit whippy this stuff. on the brakes, I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna roll back this time again.
Not rocket science, mate.
Surprisingly, very small. Yeah, the new one at Matlock Bath, it's not as good as the old one. I hope we get it. Yeah. Around. I mean, the operations are great, so not far off there. Yeah, get one of these every park in the UK. I don't know if it goes the other way.
Afterwards, she's like, what the hell? It's a bit boring.
Yeah, you wouldn't mind this if you don't like spinning things. Those tagger just don't, because it's spinning is more intense than a bigger one. Come back on. It doesn't bounce that much, it's just changing direction almost, like the bounce, you know, little jolts. I mean, the cycle's not bad. I imagine that's it, it's not going the other way. Shit! That is good. Quite intense.
So, hey, we know.
Here we we go. I don't know why it's got that boing sound effect, because isn't that from just a generic thing? Yeah, it's just like a little kangaroo's ride. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. It's not it doesn't really bounce that much. But I've got the ride. I'll do the Ferris wheel. So I should be able to go on there. And we'll get another lap on the coaster and that should be alright. That was a short cycle. Yeah, the other cycles haven't been that bad, they even improved them, but yeah, I'll do the Ferris wheel and the coaster again, that's probably it. Here we go. Round 2 and I managed to get in the front row. Yeah, the Ferris wheel's not open. Never seems to be running, like whether it's open or not, like no one ever seems to go on it, so yeah. Weird one that. I mean, I should just turn the lights off, but I suppose it'd look a bit ugly then. But here we go. A little bit more hang time. A bit more whippy there. Yeah. I wonder how many laps it'll be. Going the opposite way. Still got to be 3, surely. I wonder if it overshot the brakes earlier. Yeah, glad I've done this a couple of times, done back and front car. It's just that straight piece of track. It's like, you know, there's no drive tyres on it, but yeah, there we go. I've done it on like both back and front. But it's not on at the moment. Is that it? Okay, mate. Not bad. I don't know, it only came up as 0, so I don't know if these are... Maybe because you don't win any prizes on these, so they are actually free. The wristband. I don't know if that's bad and good, to be honest. Here we go. Yeah, I think you're only using the one pedal. It has got 2 pedals, I'm not really sure why. Yeah, they've got like rotating wheels, so you can do like the spins on them. I mean, yeah, you can skid sideways like that. Yeah, these are definitely unusual. I think IE Park, but they're different to the ones in Western. They're not just electric, they're actually different. Now if I can get some good spinning on them. So that way. I mean, it's already strange that it's like a circular sort of an area. Oh, there we go. Yeah. I mean, you need some practice because you don't see ones like this very often. I wonder if I can get some spinning going. There we go. Oh, there we go, yeah. Oh, like that. Drifting sideways. Oh, there we go. I mean, it does mean it's got a good turning circle, but... and they're not the fastest. Yeah, the spinning's the best. And now I'm just going to drift into the wall. Oh! I did a little travelling electric one last year in a tiny little ring. Not like this, it was like a normal dodgem, it's just really small. And there we go. I mean, it's not really been a quick visit, but I don't think the video will end up being that long from Babylon Park. Yeah, I think I'm satisfied with everything. I mean, because I got the hour-and-a-half wristband, can be a little bit rushed. But I did manage to get in pretty much everything that I wanted to do. I mean, I've done all the rides that I could go on, so because I just squeezed in the dodgems at the end, yeah. But yeah, I'd say it kind of gives vibes of like the Legoland Discovery Centre in Birmingham. That might just because it's underground, but it's like it is quite an expansive space when you actually get down there. Obviously it's got more rides than that. I mean, I would like to see them do a dark ride in the future. Probably would end up involving a lot of screens though, knowing somewhere, I don't know, just the sort of high-tech look of everything with all the LEDs, it'd probably end up being screens. Might not be, but but you know, as long as it had a lot of alien theming and stuff in there, like physical theming, it would be pretty good. I mean, Ziggy's Blast Quest would fit in this place. That's the sort of thing. It's like, it's kind of like Milky Way, the fact that it's a park, because that's another park that I didn't mention that's like a lot indoors. Obviously not fully indoors. In fact, the majority of the rides are outdoors, but most of the land with attractions on is indoors because they've got other stuff to do. You know, the sort of theming they've got on Ziggy's Blast Quest is similar to this. Obviously this expands around the whole park, but then they haven't got any like dark rides or enclosed rides. I mean, an indoor coaster would be great. I don't know, there are those like shutters next to the Ferris wheel. I don't know if that opens up into another massive room or anything. But if it does, I mean, an enclosed coaster would be great. Because it's something we don't have much of in the UK, and the fact that it's already an indoor park, which we don't have much of in the UK. The coaster itself is really smooth for an SBF visa. Like, considering it's the same type as those ones at Gulliver's, the way they're called racing coasters, the SBF model, which is basically just a standard layout version of one of these. This is a custom layout of the same train design and everything. A lot smoother. Like, there's no jolts on it as such. Maybe because it doesn't build up the speed and then go into that turn, you know. But yeah, Tagada's really intense. Like, yeah, you wouldn't like spinning rides. If you don't like spinning rides, you wouldn't like that. I've actually done that a couple of times. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's like one of the highlights, I'd say. I mean, I'm glad I did that. That was one of the ones, if I was just coming here for, you know, one or two rides, if I just wanted to get the cred, that was one of the things I would have done. So I'm glad that I wouldn't have missed out on that. Drop Tower was good. I mean, probably not the best paced because it's quite slow, but the airtime on it is better than the one at Matlock Bath, which is the taller version of the same model. Yeah, the bouncing ride was the disappointment. The little, it's basically a jumping kangaroos, forceless compared to the other ones I've done, and incredibly short cycle, less than a minute. That POV was. I don't know what went on there, because they have, like, since the park first opened, they pretty quickly made the cycles longer. So they didn't just reduce the prices, they actually made the ride times longer to get better value out of the prices you were paying. Because to be honest, I think the way it is now, it is central London, and it does seem to be quite busy, so it's obviously doing well. I mean, that one in Serbia mustn't have been doing well. This one seems to be a success. I mean, London's big, it's a big tourist destination. This is basically central London. It's a tube ride away from, like, Euston Station. So, I mean, I think for central London, the prices seem to be working now. So, yeah. I guess people are seeing it busy and they don't really need to have any more feedback because it's doing well. Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd still make it cheaper, but imagine if they built one in Manchester, which is probably the second city that would get one. Possibly Birmingham, I don't know. The Trafford Centre would do well, I think, in Manchester. But if they put one there, probably be a lot better priced because it's up north. But I've got to go back to Manchester at some point. Maybe to do the stuff in the Trafford Centre, but mainly the Cosgrove Hall exhibition, which looks amazing. No one's really covered it, but it's something that was kind of opened permanently recently. It used to come in seasonally, and then now they seem to have opened it permanently, so I've got to go there. That looks fantastic, like all animation, like history, like stop motion animation. Like you got all the models, little, like, you know, the drawings from the 2D stuff they did. Yeah, so I've got a reason to go to Manchester. And yeah, the Trafford Centre attractions, if I go there, you'll kind of see how this would fit into the Trafford Centre. I mean, you can find videos from, like, their Lego Discovery Centre and their Sea Life. It'd fit in perfectly. But this one, I think it seems to be working. It seems to be a success. It's probably the most popular of all of their locations. Maybe the Madrid one's doing well as well, but I mean, I think this is a more popular city than Madrid, because even though Madrid's the capital, it's not the most popular city with tourism, I wouldn't say. It's one of those countries where the capital's not actually the most tourist centred. So this one's probably doing the best of all the Babylon parks. And it's the fact that it's got the unique coaster is great as well. You know, it's not just a sort of vortex coaster or a spinning coaster. They've designed it into the building to sort of fill up a bit more space, and that's really good. Yes, you do get some arcade tickets. I'm not sure how it works, but the pinball machines seem like you can get unlimited goes on them, so you can go on there. Although the Wizard of Oz one's not working at the moment, which is a shame, but the Willy Wonka one's good. I think I've got about 3 goes on there, so it's not the best, but if it's free then you can just scan it again, I imagine, in that time limit. But obviously you want to prioritise the rides, and I think, I mean, I only had 1 go on one of the arcade machines. I mean, yeah, the one thing that they haven't got is merch, which is really surprising, because like I said, Milky Way, you know, I mean, they used to do Ziggy Cuddly toys, now they just do a bear with Milky Way on it. Maybe not enough people were buying the Ziggy ones. But they could do little cuddly aliens. In fact, they used to do little ones you could win on the Hook a Duck. Maybe you still can, but I mean, it seems like there's only one type of prize on the Hook a Duck. If you get a certain duck, then you automatically win a prize if it's got like a certain label on the bottom. And the prize that I saw given out wasn't that great quality, so I don't think they're giving out the little cuddly aliens. And I'm sure they were branded to the park as well in little boxes. And then they had like one of the grabber type machines with like bigger versions of them in that seemed like they were branded to the park. But all they've got at the moment is like the little kawaii cuddly aliens, which is great, but not branded to the park. And the shop hasn't got any merch. Really surprising. Like, they've got a lot of alien stuff, but none of it seems to be branded. And they could do little cuddly toys really well, I think. Not giving businesses any ideas, but you know, people like to buy merch. So, yeah. But yeah, it really is like Milky Way. But obviously, it's got a higher budget than Milky Way, so they can sort of expand the theming to the whole park rather than just on one of the rides. But I think they are going for a similar vibe, like it's sort of a space station theme. And then you've got a coaster where you can like go out on a space mission. Although the coaster in here is more like themed to Cosmic Typhoon, which is the outdoor coaster at Milky Way. Obviously this is a more unique layout. So yeah, but yeah, it is kind of going for a similar vibe. Obviously they've just been able to do theme for the whole park, but then they haven't got an indoor coaster, so I'd still prefer Milky Way as a whole package. I mean, it's got more charm to it as well, with it being a little independent place. But this is still good if you kind of want more of that space theme, and it's nowhere near Milky Way, you know. So if you wanted to, they are like such separate areas, and they're not. This doesn't have the shows or anything, you know. I mean, I think they've got little aliens walking around the park. I mean, I've seen some outside the park, but they've got, you know, there's no like bird show here or anything, so they are completely different parks. But just the indoor area, you can make some similarities. Just kind of, they've got things that are done better in both parks, but I do think Milky Way's are more of a complete package, and that coaster has still got the same quality of theming as in here. So yeah, but I've enjoyed coming here finally after like 4 years of being open. It is worth it to do the coaster, I'd say. But make of it what you will, really, because I know that some people probably still wouldn't be happy about the pricing. I just think compare it to the rest of London, but you can, you know, you can visit here. You can just get the credits to the coaster, but you will obviously have some left over because the lowest amount of credits you can get is still way more than the coaster is. So, you know, it's worth doing once, and if you don't think it's worth coming back, or if you're just not bothered enough to come here, you know, if you know that you're not bothered about these sorts of things, then yeah, but I'd say it's got its audience. It seems to be popular with families, so, and that's kind of what it's going for. It's a little family park, and it's something to do in central London that's more theme park based. I mean, Madame Tussauds has got the amazing dart ride, but you know, but I think the only major thing I need to do in London if I come back, I need to do the Postal Museum. That looks incredible. They've got like an abandoned tube ride, so they've turned it into a dart ride. It looked like an old abandoned tube line that was just for like delivering post, and then you go through and it's like this immersive experience. It looks great. That's the last big thing I need to do in London, and the Transport Museum as well. And I haven't done London Zoo, but is a zoo a midway? You know, in terms of, although this isn't a midway really, but you know, like this sort of indoor midway-alike things. I need to do Mail Museum and maybe the Transport Museum, but yeah, like the sort of more family-orientated touristy things. But it's been good to visit here anyway, and obviously every time you go to London you could do something different, and I'd say just know what to expect and basically find out if it's worth it for yourself, really.